What's good, YouTube? It's Trev, and I'm back with another video. Today's a special video. I wanted to make this video for a long time. I've worked really hard on this video, and I really just wanted to gather my thoughts and explain what I'm doing in this video. And this is a very personal video. You guys are gonna love this one. I just wanted to say, not really say, but I wanted to just talk about my feelings towards Kobe Bryant, and I wanted to thank him for everything that he's done, even though he passed away on this day, unfortunately, because like he's a big influential part of my life, and I felt like I wanted to share a story from my life and talk about the day he died and the impact it had on me and how I've changed as an individual because of his influence as a person and how me and him share a special sort of connection. And this video is going to be a little bit more personal for me. It's going to be me discussing things from my personal life, like specifically, and I don't really do that because I'm more of a not necessarily like a closed-minded person, but I like to keep certain things close to the heart. But today it's a very special day, and I felt like I wanted to explain, like express myself, not necessarily explain, but express myself and my feelings and connection towards Kobe because he was a big influence on my life. And I remember fondly. I remember fondly about Kobe. Like I'm a massive Celtics fan, but I always respected Kobe Bryant because he's just a great role model for anybody to have. And he was my role model since I was a little boy. He's my role model in the business world, and he's my role model in terms of like what to strive for and excellence in everything you do. I even remember fondly when I was a little boy. I remember the Matt Barnes play happening. I remember him doing the ball fake and Kobe just standing there and having no reaction. That was like the hardest, like that was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm not gonna lie. And I remember exactly what I was doing on that day. And I remember being at my grandma's house watching him in the Magic and watching them play the Lakers. And I remember that ball fake. I remember that even to this day at 25 years old. But I wanted to talk about Kobe and basically thank him because he was a big influence on my life, so I felt I should talk about that. So, me and Kobe, we share like a special connection because like the day he passed away, I was actually in the hospital because I got into a car accident and I was like a different person back then. And I got into a car accident coming home from a party and I had to do a lot of self-reflecting about myself. And I just when I was in the hospital, it was like the worst news ever to hear that my role model, Kobe Bryant, had passed away in a helicopter crash, along with his daughter and several others. And it broke my heart already going through something and then losing my role model on top of that. So it was very hard for me. But that day, I remember it for the rest of my life because that's the day I decided to change as a person. I decided to take things way more seriously. And I decided to basically become the person you see now, or basically set the roadmap for becoming that person. And me and Kobe have that special connection. And he's just been a big influence on me as a person coming back from all of that because I've totally changed. Like I used to be a party boy. I used to be kind of a smart ass, and I used to do a lot of things the right way. I mean the wrong way, not the right way. But now I'm doing things the right way. I'm living a more righteous life, and Kobe was a big part of that. And just seeing everything he did throughout his life, even though he was taken a little bit too soon from us, it's just amazing. And he's someone I model myself after. If I have a daughter or a son, I want to be the kind of man that Kobe would respect, and I want to follow his example, sort of. And it was hard for me that day because it was just such a tragic incident, and I never seen someone go out like that, someone so famous and popular. But I also saw something amazing that day. I saw how people rallied around him, and I saw how everybody paid respect to him and had the same sort of respect that I did for Kobe. And and even a couple of days later, seeing LeBron and the Lakers honor him with a sort of tribute I think days after he passed, it just was really inspiring to me to see people connect together on that level about one person, and it showed me that one man could truly change the world. And that's when I started to change within myself. And his book, I got his book well before my injury, but his book was a great source of motivation because I read it constantly when I was recovering from my injury and going through physical therapy. And when you hear about some of the things and techniques he did to better himself and the work ethic he put in, you get really inspired, and that was a big impact on me. And it was just so shocking, and but it was also motivational. And I'm just thankful that a person like that could have lived on this earth and had like so much impact on so many people, and including myself. And he's just a big role model. I'm a massive Celtics fan, but I had to rock the Kobe gear today. And it's just I wanted to discuss that because it's like a lot of us in our world, we feel small, or we feel insignificant, or we feel like we're not at our best selves yet. But if we take Kobe's example of being the best person you could be at the moment and being present and the mama mentality, basically, we could become way greater than that, because he's just such an influential person. And you can even see that now, years later, since he's passed away, and years later since my injury, we still talk about Kobe. And me personally, he sort of set the standard for me. And and I still think about my injury and how he played a big part in that. But I also think about one thing in specific also, and that's basically how strong his family has been even after his passing. Because one of my goals in life is to meet, well, not necessarily my goal, but something I want to do when I get a little bit more popular or whatever. I want to meet his wife, Vanessa Bryant, and tell her, you've been doing a great job, and Kobe would be proud, because she's held that family together. She's been a great person. And I already know, because I know what she's going through, because I had a death in my family with my grandmother, and I know everything that comes with it, with a tragic passing. And I praise her for that, because she represented her husband well, she's represented his estate well, and she's just a great person. And I want to tell her she's strong, and people respect her for that. And her husband is looking from heaven, watching her husband, her daughter, they're watching her, and they're proud of her. I want to tell her that, because that's like a hard burden, because I know the pressure that's there, and losing someone you love. I know that very well. And I also know the behind the scenes, what family does after certain things happen. So I just have a lot of respect for her. I have a lot of respect for Kobe. And I just wanted to make this thank you video and kind of say, don't ever take life for granted. Be present, and rest at the end. That was one of Kobe's mantras. And I respect that about him, and I carry that throughout my life, because everybody wants things, but they don't put in the work, and they want to rest and half-ass the process. But there's not the time for that. Life goes on, and you want to finish and complete your goals, and then you can rest. And you want to put in that work where everybody's sleeping. Because heck, I was watching the Redeem Team documentary on Netflix the other day, and they talked about how Kobe would be up 4 or 5 in the morning working out while everybody was partying, and the influence it had on people. So it's just great to hear stories like that about Kobe, and it's great to hear stories like that from myself, because he had a profound impact. And I just wanted to thank you for everything he did. It's been years since it happened, but I still remember that day very vividly, because it was a significant day in my personal life, and a significant day where he passed away, and everybody was going through that. But with all that in mind, I think we can learn something from Kobe's life. We should respect his legacy, and we should say thank you for him today, and definitely honor him in any way possible, whether that's getting up and going to the gym, whether that's putting in those extra hours, or whether that's just being a better individual and helping society. And I feel like we all can learn something from him. And I'm just thankful that he touched this earth. I'm thankful that he brought a lot of good, and I'm grateful for the influence he's had on the youth, specifically myself. So this is the kind of video I wanted to make, more of a thank you kind of video, because Kobe is one of the GOATs in my opinion. You can say whatever you want about basketball, but this is beyond basketball. He's a great basketball player, yes, but he's an even better person. And I hope to at least touch an inkling of success like that as a man and as an individual, and just become a better person. But that's all I wanted to say. Thank you, Kobe. Thank you for everything you've done. Rest in peace to you, rest in peace to your daughter, and rest in peace to all the victims from the helicopter crash, even years later. And you've made a profound impact on my life, and that's how I feel about it. And thank you for his family, and pray for them. Pray for them, and make sure they're okay, and make sure that on this day, they understand they're respected and loved. And that's pretty much all I had to say about it. I just wanted to thank him and make this video, and I'm going to stay on my grind, and I'm keep doing my YouTube thing, and I'm just going to do this for better or worse, because this is what I love to do. All right, so you guys, I'm not going to make this about me, but like, comment, subscribe, and just give me some feedback, and tell me how your day went, and how you're going to try to represent yourself and represent the great Kobe Bryant. But thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I love y'all. Thank you.